Okay, so hello once again. My name is Tomek. With us is also Miriam. We are
Hi.
GemTracker team, and I would like to start from the most important thing, in my opinion. I would like to ask you about think about this topic in the future, and we'll discuss it later on Telegram. And this thing is how we should develop the GemTracker in the future and what kind of application it should become. In my opinion, we have two paths. First is some kind of signal application. What I mean by that, it's application which will be sent less notification, but those notification will be more filtered and probably more secure. What I mean by that is, for example, only verified smart contracts, only tokens with provided liquidity, only tokens with, for example, 3 or 5 hodlers at least. And by that, we should feel more secure and we should receive less notification. So I think we should be able to focus on these tokens and not wasting our time on researching scams and games, because I'm pretty sure that some kinds of preparation and some kind of filtering we can do. We can automate this. We can write it in the source code, and this kind of notification could be sent to the Telegram channel. Of course, we can do it according to present version of GemTracker Premium. And what I mean by that is that we can organize another channel for Telegram, for example, GemTracker Premium, I don't know, signals, and send to this channel those filtered messages. And this is the one path which we should be able to go. And the second path, I think, the less interesting and the more the more sophisticated is to go in the path for tool like DEX tools on something like that, some kind of analytics and stuff like that, like Moon tools. And I think it's not our task, or we shouldn't deal with service like that, because such service already exists, and such service will be definitely more expensive to maintenance, and we don't want to probably get to know about all of these tokens, but we should focus only on the most important. And another thing that is advantage of go to the application based on some kind of signals, filtered messages, is that if we agree with that, we should be able to, for example, tracking liquidity, tracking transaction for less tokens. At this moment, we have over 21,000 tokens on Uniswap, and this number is increasing every hour. So from technical side of project, we are not able to track so many tokens as we want. So when we have some kind of filtering, we should be able to filter and to track, to develop more sophisticated things based on less tokens. So I would like that every one of you think about it, and we'll discuss some pros and cons about it on Telegram. if you have some kind of questions to this topic, please ask it now.
Not a question, but I think it's the right path to go down. You know, this like channeling the signals, you know, filtering them so that we're not seeing tokens with unverified contracts with zero liquidity. Because, as you said, it's, you know, it's wasting a lot of time, and it's more efficient just to have the tokens that are less likely to be a scam, even though they still might be, but we're narrowing it down, aren't we?
Yes, and the other advantage is that while researching by GemTracker the specific token, we can do more complex tasks on it. For example, we can interpret the source code of each SAM contract, and based on this, in the future, we should be able to, for example, guess that or research that this token probably have, for example, some parts in the source code that should not be there.
You mean like the minting function, or like
for
freezing?
example, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So is this something that
yeah?
This is something that we'll be able to implement into GemTracker, like to show like, oh, this contract has a, you know, minting function or freezing, or
I think yes.
This one where we can't sell the token.
Yeah, we should be able to distinguish these things in the source code from less tokens, because at this moment with such big number of tokens, increasing this number, we are from technical side not able to do this, or this will cost a lot of resources, and you know, in some we also paying for virtual machines in the cloud, and it's not so easy, and it's not costless. And by doing such things, the cost will increase. So I would like that everyone spends some time in his own and think about it, and probably, in my opinion, we should go to this kind of application with more filtered notification. So, any questions about this thing? If no, I think now we are able to go further. And first question was about minting function, and how to read the contract source code, how to distinguish minting, and so on. So I will try to spend a few minutes on these questions to answer and to give you some clues about how to watch it. I'm going to share my screen right now. It should be much easier to explain some things. Okay, now you should see the screen. Firstly, maybe we'll start where the source contract should be. So every time where the source contract is verified, we are able to check it in the contract tab on Etherscan, and it looks more or less like that. And probably in every contract, in most of contracts, we should see some kind of minting, because minting is not always bad, and we should we should know it. Minting is mostly important thing to, as this name is saying, about minting these tokens while deploying the contract. So we need minting to generate this token. But the problem is when the minting function or something that looks like minting function is public or is external. And I tweet about it, so maybe I will increase this part of source code. So here we have minting function, and the most important things in every kind of minting on burn function are the accessors or the modifiers. So it's those two keywords. The first here is external, and every time, and this is the rule, every time when the main function has external keyword, external modifier, it's probably malicious, and we should not focus on researching this token more time. We shouldn't spend more time on researching this token because minting function should not be external. External means that this function could be and only can be called by external source contract or by external address. So minting is okay when it's, for example, internal, except here the keyword external, we have internal, but minting is bad. Implementation minting is bad when we have external keywords, because everyone, or not everyone, like in this example, but only owner can call this function minting outside the source contract. So for example, from Etherscan, or for example, from another smart contract, and then this person will be able to mint some tokens. Here also we have the only owner modifier, which most of time is implemented that only the address which deployed this source contract to Ethereum is able to call this function. So, for example, I won't be able to call this mint function because I'm not the one who deployed this smart contract, and that's mean the only owner modifier in most of functions in Solidity source code of smart contracts. So maybe to sum up, minting function is not always bad. It is bad and it is malicious always when implemented with external keyword. It's okay, most of times it's okay when it has internal keyword, but when it has internal keyword, we should also analyze what is implemented in the body of this function. So when the minting function is internal, it's not so easy to distinguish if the source code is malicious or it's okay. But every time when it's external, it's for 100% malicious. And the second keyword here, only owner, means that only address which deployed the smart contract to Ethereum is able to call this function. So I think about minting, that's all for the beginners, for the first step. And I would like to know that any one of you have some question about, have some questions, minting related questions, or external or internal keywords, modifiers from Solidity. So I hope everything is clear. Or maybe Bart, you wanted to say something?
Regarding the code,
I can't hear you.
you can hear me. Sorry. Do you hear me now or not?
Yes, yes, now it's okay.
All right. So my question is, you said that it has to be word external. Inside, be aware that it will be a scam project. But in every example, when you find internal word about the good painting, or maybe some kind of fragment of the code can be broken, and only finding internal word doesn't secure you that it's a
Okay, if I understand you well, I will maybe repeat it once again. The rule is like that when minting is external, we should treat this function, this smart contract, as malicious. But when the mint function is internal, it doesn't mean it's safe for sure, but it means that it could be okay, but we should also take a look and try to understand the source code on inside the minting body function. So probably it's not easy for the beginners. It's not easy for people who don't understand Solidity. But I think that at this moment, when every one of you know that external minting function in Solidity is malicious, it's enough. Maybe in the next time, in the future, we will go further to this topic and try to understand the more sophisticated examples.
okay. Remember, external don't.
I have some problems with hearing you.
Thanks. I'm all right with your answer.
Okay, super. Thank you. Okay, so the next question was about some delay in sending notification from GemTracker. And of course, it is possible. It is only software, but please remember that there also should be examples that for the reason that token is added to Uniswap with almost zero liquidity in some pair, but those liquidity is added to this pair for this token later. So it's possible to that the team is adding the token to Uniswap, but with no liquidity. For example, they still collecting the ethers for example, in some kind of ICO or things like that. And when this collecting ethers is going to end, and the team now has these ethers, then they are adding liquidity to Uniswap. And at this moment, GemTracker is working like that it sends notification when this token, and by that I mean the pair, is added to Uniswap, and even if it has zero liquidity. So it's the one thing here. And another thing is that please remember that it's a software. It's asking Uniswap every 4 minutes. So it's possible to have a delay in this time for others tokens. But I'm pretty sure that every token that is added to Uniswap should be reported by GemTracker. It's enough for this moment about this question, or maybe I should explain it a little more. All right.
So does GemTracker receive the notification when the listing, when the token is added to Uniswap, or only when the liquidity pair is added?
When the token is added, but that means also liquidity is added. But liquidity may be added with, for example, 0 value.
Okay. And would it be possible to maybe implement something that would maybe resend this notification when liquidity is added, if it is added?
Yes, we should be able to do this, to implement such feature, but only when we will have less tokens to tracking.
Yeah, like when we filter them, yes. Filter the bad ones out.
At this moment, it's very difficult to track them all. It's probably impossible in effective way, of course, because it's possible, but in effective way, it's not possible. When we will have less notification for more valuable tokens, then we should be able to track them, and for liquidity, for transfer, for transaction, and for others things like that.
Okay, great.
Okay, I think we are doing pretty well right now. So another question. Okay, some question on chat. Thank you. Clear point. All right. So another thing to discuss is some kind of checklist, and I have a little gift for everyone, because as you can probably see right now, we've prepared some kind of checklist. I call it what to check if notification about new token appears. And here we have some kind of clues, some kind of tips, tricks, and things that needs to be checked, doing some kind of quick research after after received GemTracker notification. And we described here each section from GemTracker message, what we should check in network effect, in statistic, what is this for, some clues about charts, some tips about tokens, token details, liquidity, contract, pairs, current holders, and so on. So for this kind of things, I prepared a special website, and it's available at docs.gemtracker.club. And from this site, you should be able to read it and to find out what is the most important. Of course, link to this site is also on the homepage of the project. Just quickly remind that it's at gemtracker.club, and at the bottom of the site here we have a link to docs and how-tos. And the first thing, probably the most important at this moment, is what to check after received the notification about a new token. I also would like to describe here the second part, what to check if notification about a deleted project appears, because it is also important. There are less notification about deleted projects, but it's important because it means that it was mostly a scam. It has no liquidity now on Uniswap, and we should, when we have it, we should try to sell them as quick as possible. Maybe not on Uniswap anymore, but maybe from aggregators like 1inch exchange or something like that. So it's also important, and probably I want that some kind of content should also appear on these docs of GemTracker Club. So here is our answer about the checklist in GemTracker for this moment. What do you think about this idea? Any others things to this? If no, I hope that it means that I'm answering clear for your answers, not that you are so shy and don't want to ask anything.
I have one question. Hey.
Hey.
I just joined in, so I wasn't from the very beginning. I must be honest to say that I don't follow GemTracker very often, just looking carefully to the chat and try to warm up with this feature. But so I'm not sure, maybe the question, the answer is in the GemTracker, but just strike me now to ask if there is a link between, for example, if there's a new token on the Uniswap, if the GemTracker detect if the dev for this game already did the other projects in the past, which was scam or not scam, whatever, is the GemTracker showing that link?
Okay, it's a good question, and but maybe answer is not good at this moment. But this feature is not implemented yet. But as I said in the URL, I have a bunch of addresses of smart contracts creators to compare in the future with every new token added to Uniswap and notified by a GemTracker. So I'm pretty sure that it's possible to implement in the future. And once again, when we have less token to check, and less, I mean, it will be less by doing some filtering, for example, contract verification, liquidity, and so on. Of course, it will be much easier to compare such token with those lists with malicious contract creator from the past, and also based on this information, send such notification to the GemTracker channel.
I'd just like to add here.
Great, thanks for.
Yeah, I'd just like to add here, like while we're waiting for this implementation, it's really worth to click on GemTracker and, you know, check the owner's address. You know, if you're really looking into a token, into a project, check the owner's address, because very often you'll see that they've got like 2 or 3 contract creations on Etherscan. And
yes.
Usually it's a sign that they're malicious. Yes. They're creating these scam tokens.
Of course, it's a very valuable answer. At this moment, we have some kind of information about the contract owner. Mm-hmm. So, as Marian said, we are able to click this address, go to the Etherscan and check if this address, this owner, have also deployed some contracts in the past. And this is easy to distinguish because every operation related to added tokens to Uniswap is it's named by the contact creation in the description, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
it's really clear to notice and spot. And they don't even try to hide it, you know, these scammers.
Yeah, it's, of course.
Same address, creating 4 or 5 tokens.
Yes, they are lazy because they are scammers. So this is the answer for everything. Okay, there's one question on chat. Can you add in section pairs few words about DEX, Astron, Montos, Unicrypt? In what direction should we use each? In the example that allows per okay, so at this moment we have links to services like DEX, like AstroTools and MoonTools, and these 3 services are, in my opinion, pretty similar to each other, and we are able to follow the transaction, the value of transaction for each pair. Every link point us to those services, to the related pair, because those services are working on pairs. And for example, DEX have some kind of ranking, some kind of scoring the pairs based on the liquidity, based on I can't remember right now everything, but it's from DEX team. Yes, so they prepared some kind of scoring, and based on this, also we have some kind of information. Of course, every time we see that each token has 99 points, it looks okay, but it's not most important thing, and we should always try to figure it out why it has 99 points, why it has for example 20 points, and we should also always try to dig more deeper doing research on using these tools. So these 3 are pretty similar. I think we should now leave this thing, and maybe in the next time talk much more about these services, because they are also very valuable. So at this moment, I only would like to say a couple of sentences about Unicrypt, because we also have link to the Unicrypt service, and this is also very important. And what I mean by that, Unicrypt allows deployer of the smart contract lock liquidity. And to fully understand this topic, we need to know that every time when the developer is adding pair, and pair it also means a token to Uniswap, it put to the router Uniswap. Router is one of the Uniswap smart contract. He put on this router, on the smart contract, number of his token and the number of ETHs. And in back, he received the Uni V2 tokens. And now with these tokens, he is able to do a couple of things. And one, the most important things, is to leave to release those liquidity. So when those tokens are locked, for example, for some time, he is not able to touch this liquidity from Uniswap. And Unicrypt is the tool which automates this process, because every developer is able to write the smart contract which will lock this liquidity manually, yes. But Unicrypt helps developers, and It looks like we only have to click 2 or 3 times in Unicrypt and our tokens, our liquidity in Uniswap is locked. So it's important, but as always, it has pros and cons. Not every project, every pair which has a locked liquidity, we should trade as safe, and that's definitely not. Locked liquidity doesn't mean that the project is safe, doesn't mean that it's not a scam, because there are many techniques that scammers, that malicious developers are able to do, even if the liquidity is locked. So it's some kind of nice feature, it's some kind of nice to have, but we should not trust every project which has locked liquidity. And I think at this moment it's enough, because it's huge, it's a large topic. Probably if you want to discuss it in another time. All right, we have also some couple of minutes, so I will try to follow the next question. Yes. Also, we'll probably need some place for improvements, for some place where we'll be able to discuss and to, for example, I don't know, vote for the next feature. And I think that we agree that Telegram group is not suitable for such thing. And probably we will go with GitHub, because setting the account is pretty easy. Or maybe the second possibility is to use Snap. I can't remember the service right now, but there is some kind of web service when I will be able to put things, for example, for voting, and you will be able to vote each. Oh yes, snapshot. Yes, thanks. It's snapshot, and I will be able to put them things to vote, and you will be able to vote. It's probably costless. Only it's needed to have ANS Ethereum name services for address, so it's easy. And probably I think we need such place. And I hope that in the next couple of days I will be able to introduce one of solution, and we should trade it easy. I mean that it's when this proposed solution will not suit us, so we can always jump to another and change it, and to the one which will be okay for us. So it's about some kind of place for improvements question. Or maybe you have some ideas, or you are able to propose some another solution for this topic, for this place when we would be able to discuss or to vote about future plan. Of course, at this moment, for some quick setup, we can use polls on Telegram. It's easy. It's something that we can do right now. The second question also was about our YouTube channel. So the plans for YouTube channels are at this moment in our mind. I think we'll be discussing it in our team, which path we should go with YouTube channel. Maybe some kind of more technical stuff should be published on this YouTube channel. I would like to publish on this channel meetings like that. For also for others who are not yet involved in our project, it will be good things to advertisement this project. So the most important thing right now is that the YouTube channel is created. We have some nice graphics there. We have some good first content. Yeah, thank you, Mary. And that's all. All right. The next things. There was we have some couple of minutes. Maybe not GemTracker related question, but one of those was also about profitable liquidity. And for fast answer it is easy to find because I will share the screen. I will share the screen. Share. Okay. So on the Uniswap, we have something like top pairs, and here we can find out which pair is the most profitable at this moment. And most profitable means fees, because those fees are divided into liquidity providers on Uniswap. So every time we would like to provide liquidity to some pair on Uniswap, I think the good idea is to look here and check what is most profitable right now. Of course, this is the most common solution. There are also, I think there are also other services with more sophisticated analytics, more deeper understanding about liquidity providers. Of course, there are some also there are some kind of bots on Uniswap, some kind of arbitrage bots, which are switching between liquidity pairs, and those bots are written like that. They have to earn a lot, and they are running very fast. They are changing pairs. They are multiplying the earnings by that. But it's totally different thing, not related to GemTracker, not related to providing liquidity. Okay. And also was another question about Etherscan. I think I said it. About Etherscan, we should probably organize some separate meeting and try to understand, try to learn how to use it more effectively. It's a huge topic, and I would like to leave it for now and try to get back to this topic maybe later. All right, I think that's all. We spent here almost an hour. I would like to hear something from you. Maybe some other question appears when I was saying my part of this meeting.
So the basic idea is that the GemTracker will cover only Uniswap. It won't go farther to the balancer or to Bancor.
It depends, to be honest. It depends on our needs. For example, yesterday or one day back, I've added also tracking the Kyber swap. So now GemTracker also should send notification from Kyber swap. Of course, Kyber swap or any others dexes are not so liquid like Uniswap, and adding tokens to those dexes is pretty more complicated than Uniswap, and the Uniswap is most popular. But it's not a problem to add other dexes. If we decide that we need other dexes, it's not a problem to add them. So now we are following Uniswap and KyberSwap.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so probably that's all. So maybe I will turn off the recording.